Okay, it is currently 5:01 p.m. So stepping out of my office, and you have the maintenance of the light source that is in alignment with me, which is what the entity is doing on an ongoing basis. This is the pattern of conduct and completely outside of what is the operation of the natural environment as we know it. This is the maintenance of the light source, which would be ordinarily identified in complete ignorance as the sun. But again, as documentation shows, just one day out of what is an ongoing pattern of the environment here. It's a specific environment, it's a phenomenon, and it is impossible that the natural sun would ever be in the sky space in any other state, like Florida, for example, which would not have seen the sun whatsoever, as I was capturing it at 3:30 p.m. still over this parking lot, hovering over me, creating what is the formation of my shadow, which again is right here. The entity is maintaining the light source, and it is after 5 p.m. The entity maintained the light source right here. Where's my finger at? Right here at 8 o'clock in the morning, 3:30 p.m. right here in the parking lot, right here over me, and it is at 5 p.m. just as I stated is the case. This is not the operation of the natural environment, but it is the pattern of conduct, and this is exactly what I documented in the Inland Empire from 2018 to 2023. The entity engaging in, 2022, the entity engaging in what is the maintenance of a specific environment. First of all, this is not the sun, all right? This is not the behavior of the sun, and also this is not sunlight. All right, pay attention. This is engineered light that's illuminating this building. This is serving for what is the maintenance of presence in the path, in my path. This is serving for systematic group stalking, and the entity supplements what is the presence of shade with this engineered light. All right, it stands out, it's highlighted, it stands out like a sore thumb. It is highly unnatural and impossible light activity. The entity does this in the morning, all right, and the entity does this, for example, in the afternoon, where for example, you saw in my office earlier where you have the illumination of light that's just appearing on the wall in the depths of the office out of nowhere. The entity engages in what is exactly what you see here in the shade, some form of light, always some method of light, and that's not sunlight, all right? Because the entity, very crucial to the pattern of conduct and the demonic objective, is to maintain light while they maintain corporate group presence. They are the public entity. It's the state of California. And this is what group stalking is. And I want to be clear as you see this light all over this building, it is the prosecution of every single last one of them. The state system is not just at Alvarado Gardens. It's a state system. It's in the name of it. It's what the state of California is engaging in. And this is exposing what is referred to as group stalking. I've referred to it as federal group stalking and monitoring. It's a violation of existing federal law. All right. The federal government, the Department of Justice, is going to prosecute the state. All right. And it is serving for what is exposing what is not only criminal, all of the methods, what you see, what the entity does with this light, the nature of this light, the character of this light, the behavior with this light, the group conduct. All right. Even the hostility as you expose what an entity is doing in secret. All of it is speaking to the demonic. It exposes the demonic. And the demonic is synonymous with malicious in federal court. It's synonymous with what is psychotic, sociopathic, very highly demented, twisted, wicked, whatever synonyms you want to put there, all of that applies, not being hyperbolic whatsoever. You are looking at the maintenance of engineered light in the shade. It is absolutely impossible. It is another phenomenon in the same way that the maintenance of the light source at 5 p.m. in perfect alignment with me still, aiming light onto the same exact location in alignment with me and covering all of the people of the state who are in relevant position in that same zone, present all around in relevant position in that same phenomenon. Not a coincidence, and it's also not ignorant. This is exposing what is a state system, all right? And so you have what is Exhibit A, crossing path in the engineer. This is systematic monitoring. This is also a demon who does not have to look at you, doesn't have to know your name, but I want to be clear, as you see that engineered light that she walks in and her shadow appears behind her, that's accomplishing the criminal system of group stalking and monitoring. And in the same way that they act so systematically and maliciously, you will engage in what is the ability to prosecute by the masses. It's a system that is serving for what is a mass system of bullying and targeting someone, never to have been exposed before, and you are flipping that malice on its head. It is serving to torment in the same way that the Los Angeles Police Department have exposed. I've documented dozens and dozens on a daily basis, even while I'm on the job, ongoing group stalking in the specific environment, while the entity is aware of the fact, monitoring every moment while I expose and document moment by moment, and they engage in what is increasing their hostility, increasing their aggression, increasing the threat. And I want to be clear, the people of the state that are in that specific environment, that are in no way removing themselves from the pattern of conduct, that are in no way reporting to the federal government, that are in no way seeking to in any way cease cooperating with the pattern of conduct. They do quite the opposite. It is not a coincidence that they engage in that which is facilitating. It is not a coincidence that they engage in behavior that is occurring with simultaneity. It's not a coincidence that's occurring in what is the phenomenon. The very environment is a phenomenon. It is the pattern of conduct, and it is a pattern of conduct that's practiced by the state. You're looking at this light activity. I want to be clear. First of all, you already know that that's not the sun, and you also know that sunlight does not bounce off of between buildings like this. Because this is what the entity is suggesting. Sunlight is bouncing off of the windows across the parking lot and touching the not only the walls of this building, but also on the ground. It's illuminated. It has nothing to do with sunlight. And I want to be clear, that is just an illusion. And I've shown you how unintelligent it is. It has nothing to do with the operation of nature, and all you have to do is pay attention. Secondly, this is not sunlight, and what you see illuminated actually has nothing to do with this light source that you see, because you've seen the same exact light activity. You see light illuminating out of nowhere in the depths of my office when the light source is not an explanation for the presence of that light. Okay, the entity is engaged in a pattern of conduct, and it's stalking with light. That's demonic. Ceilings bearing what is shadows and that's demonic. The people of the state driving by you, walking by you, and the appearance of their shadows appearing, or the opposite, the appearance of what is engineered light coexisting with their crossing path, that's demonic. It's demonic. All right, but it's also serving for what is criminal monitoring. All right, so this is the ongoing evidence of what would never have been the case. The sun was never present over apartment number 51 at 408 West G Street in Ontario, California, where the Ontario Police Department are documented as a matter of record, not only on that day, July 30, 2020, but for a series of years engaging in the criminal system of federal group stalking and monitoring. And this is documentation of an outright departure from the presence of that light source anywhere in the Inland Empire, let alone over Woodside Senior Apartments, apartment number 51. And it was in its zenith over my head at 12:38 p.m. That's impossible to be the case when you have an outright departure and the light source is remaining here from 8 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock in the evening, in perfect alignment with me the whole time. All right, and you're also paying attention to common sense because you know what sunlight will do and what it will not do. All right, my documentation is serving for what is a comprehensive prosecution of what is the people of the state who are not present on any individual basis. This is the state that's present all around you. This is the state's criminal facilitation of what is systematic monitoring. And that is removing them from the ability to claim that they don't know you. Oh, I'm just here ignorantly. I have a right to live here. No, you don't. It's a facilitating venue. And this is the malice of the system. And everything about their behavior and the presence of that environment is serving as what is the establishment of what is the ongoing conspiracy between the entity and the people of the state. That's how they're referred to. They have a specific title. When you are establishing the venue, you're talking about what is outright malice. It's supposed to be a secret society. You're removing all of that. First of all, you're going to expose it. There will be no more secrets. But second of all, it's fully exposed when you know where they're at, and then you know the significance of everything that they're doing. But like I said, the people of the state have a whole body of evidence that they will also not be able to in any way reconcile or approach. And it's going to be crickets in federal court, because what the people of the state have already demonstrated, what I have hundreds of videos on, is the people of the state are right at a time when they were convinced, the entity was convinced that it would get away with it. The people of the state were routinely engaging in molesting my person with engineered light, impossible light activity. All right. Touching all over me, spreading all across the asphalt while they cross path, moving all across. Literally, it was a light show. Has already been documented. All right. And this is the venue that's here. It's the same exact entity that's engaging in that same exact pattern of conduct. They're the same exact demon-possessed entity, and that is speaking to what is the uniformity of the pattern of conduct. That's evidence that they will not be able to address either. I haven't even gotten into that. All right. I just want to be clear. It is currently 5:10 p.m. and this is P.O.C. at Alvarado Gardens. This is 1810 North Alvarado Street in Ontario, California, 90026. All right. Not the natural environment, but it is P.O.C.